My name is Nayetta Williams-Hill, and I work as a gifted and talented itinerant teacher through the Advanced Program Office. And I just want to take a moment to thank you all for joining me this afternoon. The presentation is entitled Gifted Services in Specific Academic Aptitude and General Intellectual Ability. And I would like for you all to know that there is a representative from the Advanced Program Office who will be answering any questions that you all might have. If you have questions, just type them into the chat box and they will be answered. I do want to remind you that there are 5 areas of giftedness where students can be identified, and those areas are specific academic aptitude, general intellectual ability, leadership or psychosocial, creativity and divergent thinking, and visual and performing arts. This presentation highlights multiple service options for students who have been identified as being gifted in the areas of specific academic aptitude or general intellectual ability. Students are identified in the area of specific academic aptitude with documented evidence in 3 forms. The evidence may include high performance on individual or group tests of academic aptitude, for example, the MAP test that we use here in JCPS, student awards or critiques of performances, off-level testing, portfolio of high academic performances, student progress data. And students may have specific academic aptitude in the following: language arts, math, science, or social studies. Students may qualify for services in general intellectual ability once 3 data points of evidence are submitted, including high performance on individual or group intellectual cognitive assessments, and we use the COGAT test in Jefferson County Public Schools, observation of applied advanced reasoning ability, and checklist inventories of behaviors specific to gifted learners. Some behaviors that are specific to gifted learners are you might have students that you notice are abstract thinkers. They may recognize patterns very easily. Your students might have and utilize a very high vocabulary. They may be 1 or 2 grade levels above their peers. You might have students who are very observant and students who are independent workers. Services for primary through grade 12 students. There shall be multiple service delivery options available with no single service. And when you're planning services for your students, consider the following. Think about your student behaviors and what activities and services would best suit their personalities. Think about their strengths, and you might even want to think about areas of growth when you're determining these service options. And also think about your student characteristics. And an individualized educational plan, a gifted student service plan, which is also known as the GSSP, shall be designed to meet the individual student's needs. The GSSP will match student activities, interests, and needs to differentiated service options and will establish accountability for meeting student instructional needs. 3 indicators are used as evidence for high potential learners in the primary talent pool. Primary talent pool students are informally selected as having characteristics and behaviors of high potential learners, and these are students who are in kindergarten through grade 3. Students should be grouped for instructional purposes, and multiple delivery options shall be utilized for these students. Some delivery options may be differentiated curriculum, flexible grouping, regrouping based on the individual needs, interests, and abilities of the student, and the appropriate use of resource services and acceleration options. And as I go through the presentation, I'll talk a little bit more in depth about each of these. Also, when you're thinking about your primary talent pool students, student grouping for instructional purposes should be based on student interest, abilities, and needs, and also their social and emotional needs as well. Acceleration options include early entrance into kindergarten by taking an exam. Other options may include curriculum compacting, which may be done at all grade levels, higher level activities based on parallel content, subject level acceleration. For example, you might have a second grade student who works at math on a fourth grade level, and you have that student go to a fourth grade classroom for math. Or the fourth grade teacher might have a Google Classroom, and they allow that second grade student to join the classroom so that that student is able to do activities at a fourth grade level. Also, an acceleration option is grade skipping, as well as early exit from school. And I have a link here for a document, and this is a guide to the Kentucky system of interventions. And I'm going to scroll down to page 59, and there are a list of acceleration options as well as a brief description of the options. So I'll go through and show you, and if you have additional time, you can read through these a little bit more thoroughly. So we have early admission to kindergarten, early admission to first grade, grade skipping. Also, there's continuous progress, where the student is given content progressively as prior content is completed and mastered. If we continue down the list, you'll see self-paced instruction. With this option, the student proceeds through learning and instructional activities at a self-selected pace. Subject matter acceleration. This practice allows students to be placed with a class of older peers for part of the day. So for example, that second grade student who might go to a fourth grade classroom for math. Combined classes. In a combined class, you can allow younger students to interact academically and socially with older peers. Curriculum compacting. Telescoping curriculum. And telescoping curriculum differs from the curriculum compacting in that time is saved from telescoping always results in advanced grade placement if it is planned to fit the precise time schedule. Curriculum compacting, on the other hand, does not necessarily advance the grade placement. We also have mentoring as an acceleration option, extracurricular programs, correspondence courses, and then there's early graduation as well as concurrent dual enrollment. Advanced placement courses, the student takes the course, is traditionally a high school student that will confer college credit upon successful completion of a standardized examination. Then there's credit by examination, acceleration in college, and early entrance into middle school, high school, or college. I also have here a link for the Acceleration Institute. If you want more information on acceleration, you can go through this website for some details. Curriculum compacting is designed to reduce the amount of time students spend in those areas of the curriculum that they have already mastered. And if you look on this slide, you'll see what could be used in a lesson plan to help individualize a curriculum compact for a student. Curriculum compacting includes 3 components, which are it reduces repetition for the student, it promotes student engagement, and it allows students to focus on content and skills not already mastered. Pre-testing and careful monitoring are important to compacting. There is a link here for a site on curriculum compacting, and you'll see here that same form is filled out, and it's a second grade student who reads on a 5th grade level. And while the student does some of the same activities as a whole group with her peers, for example, read aloud or pre-writing activities, some of the activities for this student are different in that she's reading a 5th grade level book by the same author, writing narratives and using technology to revise her narratives. Also, she might create a play or a skit to perform. So you can utilize this site for additional information. Collaborative teaching and consultation services. Teachers can collaborate with their school counselor or a colleague with an endorsement in gifted and talented education for resources. Within your professional learning community, teachers will share expertise and work collaboratively to improve teaching skills and the academic performance of students. Use your PLC time to adjust the curriculum instruction and assessment of your gifted students. So that's a great opportunity for you all to collaborate, discuss your gifted learners, and some options for increasing their knowledge base and allowing them to work up to their full potential. It's a wonderful time to share resources and ideas and to plan together. Special counseling services. So your gifted students may have characteristics that are listed on this slide, which include advanced progression through developmental milestones, intense reactions to noise, pain, or frustration. They might be very sensitive and or compassionate. They also might be perfectionists who are dealing with perfectionism on a daily basis. So your school counselor has expertise in working with students. There are some links here for your information, meeting the social and emotional needs of gifted learners. And if you scroll down, there are resources looking at self-doubt, looking at different challenges that students might have. So feel free to use this. Also, I have included a link here, and we're looking at managing emotional intensity in gifted children. So this might be a beneficial resource for you as well. Once again, we are to provide multiple service delivery options with no single service option existing alone, district-wide at a grade level. Differentiated instruction is designed to meet student interest, to meet student needs, and as well as their abilities. And students should set goals and strive to achieve those goals within a timeline. Teachers can differentiate content, process, and product according to student readiness, interest, and their learning profile. DifferentiationCentral.com has several videos that you might find helpful when thinking about differentiating. And what I really like about this site is they have it broken apart where you can look at differentiating at the elementary level as well as differentiating at the secondary level. And if you click on those, then you have some experts who are talking about some various strategies that you can use in your classroom. So that site has a wealth of information. Then if we go to the Kentucky Department of Education webpage, there's information on differentiation as well. They offer you some book and print resources as well as web-based resources. And some of you may have this document already, but it's online resources for teachers, and there are lots of tools to help you organize your classroom, lesson plans, grading. So it's just a wonderful resource here that you all can utilize to help you with your differentiation. Some differentiated study experiences may include choice boards, learning stations, and flexible grouping. And you want to always keep in mind that your lessons are not one size fits all, and you have to work to meet the needs of your students. So here I have an example. It's a short video clip, and you'll see a high school English teacher showing how she's differentiating a lesson.
Do it again, and I want you to underline.
English teacher Sarah Crisp at Oldham County works to know and understand her learner.
In our lesson plans, we have to think about whether we're appealing to a kid who may be more musical, or whether we're appealing to a kid who may be more visual or maybe logical, mathematical. And we do try to plan different things throughout the year that will hit those kids. We finished Julius Caesar yesterday. So today we're going to start to do a little debriefing. The first thing I want you to do on this paper is to write the word loyalty in big capital letters at the top. Now, for 3 minutes, I want you to do some focused free writing on the topic of loyalty. What is loyalty to you?
The way this activity is presented draws students into a real connection of loyalty within their own personal lives.
What we always try to do, especially in an English class, is to get the kids writing, even if it's for 2 or 3 minutes, especially to make a connection to their own personal lives, so that particularly the characters from Caesar don't seem so remote. Who's got a sentence they're willing to share? Okay, Brendan.
Loyalty is not necessarily doing the right thing. It is, however, doing what is best for the ones you are loyal to.
Okay, someone else.
Is it possible to be blinded by loyalty?
Excellent question. Is it possible? I think in Caesar we might have seen that. Stephen?
Loyalty is synonymous with trust.
With graph paper, the students will evaluate loyalty in the characters of Julius Caesar.
I want you to consider how loyalty plays a part in your life, so that when we talk about these characters in Julius Caesar, they're more than just characters in a play on a page.
With a different color, the students will plot the loyalty of each character in the play.
Now, if you see on mine, on the overhead, and as well on yours, the continuums that I've made, one axis deals with loyalties and the degrees to which characters are loyal to themselves versus loyalty to other people in the play, no matter whom they may be, okay? And at the bottom, you'll notice my continuum is time. And now what are the Roman numerals for?
They're for the scenes and the acts.
After modeling a character's loyalty, Mrs. Crisp has her students plot their own loyalty lines. In a pair and share activity, the students compare and share their ideas.
What did you think about Anthony? I thought that he was loyal to others, like to Caesar at first, but then in that one act, whenever he started being more loyal to himself because he wanted to take over.
The pairs group together in larger configurations to share their observations.
Loyalty is forever, dude. It can't be fake. That's not true loyalty.
I can fake loyalty.
I can fake loyalty.
See, she can fake loyalty.
Just because y'all can fake loyalty doesn't mean that that's true loyalty. Man, that's like me being your friend. That's like me being your friend so I could get your room when you die.
We know, and you do that. That's fake loyalty.
Let's begin with Brutus.
Mrs. Crisp brings the students together to summarize their discussion of loyalty.
Did some of your lines for Brutus look sort of like that?
Yeah.
Who would disagree with that? Okay. Matt.
Well, he killed Caesar, and supposedly it was his friend. I mean, that's the obvious thing right there.
It's kind of hard to overlook that, isn't it?
Mrs. Crisp leads the students into a closing activity, allowing opportunities for students to express their own opinions.
I want you to keep this in your head. Hold on to your graph and remember some of the debates that we've had, because these are excellent springboards for writing. What we've just done would create wonderful essays, great opinion papers, okay?
Okay, so that was an example of differentiated lesson in a high school classroom. Next, we have distance learning. So, of course, there's Kentucky Virtual High School, and then there are some links for some other distance learning opportunities. Khan Academy is one that you all are familiar with, as well as Study Island, which is linked to map data. JCPS Online is collaborative classroom software. JCPS eSchool offers educational enrichment, high school credit, scheduling flexibility, a self-paced curriculum, and student-directed learning. Other distance learning opportunities may be provided through internet resources, television broadcast, correspondence courses, and other technology to access courses and resources that aren't available within the school. Next, we have advanced placement and honors courses. Advanced placement curriculum is developed by the College Board in partnership with university professors and culminates in a qualifying exam. AP courses are considered college equivalent. Scores on the spring exam may be accepted at many colleges and universities for credit, and advanced placement classes are offered to students in all JCPS high schools. It is recommended that advanced program students graduate with a minimum of 2 advanced placement classes. And when a student completes a core of AP courses with acceptable exam scores, they can earn a Kentucky Commonwealth diploma. And I have resources here from the College Board, International Baccalaureate, and Khan Academy that coincide with advanced placement and honors courses. These are examples of enrichment programs that are to take place during the school day. So during the school day, you can offer clubs and organizations such as student council, robotics, chess team, art club, debate team, and many more. And you just want to make sure that you're providing equitable opportunities so students are able to be a part of these clubs and organizations. Makerspace is also a way that students can have in-school enrichment, as well as presentation opportunities. For example, if they worked on a passion project and they're wanting to present their findings in front of a class or a group, making that available for them. And performance opportunities as well. If they would like to perform, let's say, a dance, for example, that coincides with a poem that they wrote, providing the opportunity to do that. Genius Hour and passion projects go hand in hand, and choice boards are also an example of in-school enrichment. An independent study is a self-directed course or a study of a selected topic. You might want to have your student, along with you, complete a learning contract if they're wanting to do an independent study. That way they can specify their learning goals, and you can know and they can know what their final project is going to be, as well as a timeline for completing the project. And independent studies are not for all students, so you're wanting to think again about the student characteristics. So independent studies are best utilized with students who are self-directed, motivated, and self-reliant. Mentorships are another service that can be provided for students. You might have a buddy program in your school, and an example of how this can be used is if, let's say, you have a high potential first grader who is a buddy with a fourth grader. They could work on a project together, for example, a poetry project, and then do a performance in front of the school. That's just an example. So the fourth grader is essentially a buddy for that first grade student. There's also job shadowing, mentor volunteers, community partnerships, and apprenticeships. Your school may have a gifted and talented itinerant teacher who works with small groups of students in a pull-out setting or collaboratively in the classroom. This teacher may pull primary talent pool and gifted and talented students at each grade level to focus on math, language arts, and creativity, for example. This teacher may also work in the classroom and co-teach with the classroom teacher and pull small groups within the classroom for instruction. At the middle school and high school level, your gifted and talented itinerant teacher is going to teach an approved curriculum, monitors and evaluates and communicates student progress, and guides the learning process toward the achievement of curriculum goals. Seminars are sessions on a specific topic focusing on advanced content and high-level process skills. Seminars may be conducted by teachers, representatives of various professional fields, volunteers, and parents. And on this slide, I just listed our local colleges and universities, as well as all of the museums that we have. There might be professors and professionals from those organizations who would love to come in and conduct a seminar with your students. Travel study options can take place twice a year or once per semester. And if you've ever done study abroad yourself, you know the value of that. Western Kentucky University offers study abroad options, and if you look here, they have an upcoming trip during spring break to Italy, so this can be a resource for students who are interested in study abroad. As well as USA Study Abroad, I've provided the link there for you to view. Students in a self-contained gifted classroom must receive instruction from a gifted endorsed teacher. I've provided my contact information if you have any other questions. Also, the information will be available on Drive, and this presentation itself will be uploaded to the JCPS Digital Learning channel. If you have any additional questions, please type them into the chat box at this time, and they will be answered shortly. And I thank you all again so much for joining me this afternoon, and I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.